disappointment that this Clipper team has had the last couple of seasons in the playoffs. You mentioned it earlier. Oh my goodness!
What a great move!
Spin cycle right there by CP3. Well, it's all about putting someone in the spin cycle right here. Looks up at the shot clock, and everyone thinks he's coming back out. And that's an old Michael Jordan move.
That has certainly put a dent in this series. They get by Curry. Here is Paul. Bad hamstring and all.
So that I could be a little bit more aggressive offensively, but I told him to hell with that. To hell with that. This game 7.
They're not going for OKC. Paul sidesteps. Layup. Count it and one. Corner threes, has not shot the ball well. Not known as a shooter, known for defensive play, but hit that three. And it's Paul again, who now has 22. 8 for 9.
Up to the rim, just shuffled his feet a little bit too much.
Now Chris Paul splits the defense.
Running teams off at 33%.
Chris Paul the other way with a pumper and a drive. Oh, the beautiful sleight of hand. A Houdini move inside by Chris Paul. Biggest lead now for the Clippers. Under a minute to go in the third. Paul, stutter move, flips it up and in.
By Brooks, leads Chris Paul and the Clippers. Trying to break the 19th tie tonight. Quick, off the window.
Well, he's grabbing his shoulder.
Yeah,
oh, no.
Remember that shoulder that he injured.
Able to track it down. Paul fakes the three. Oh, and a fake high off the glass.
The City much more active on their screen and roll defense, really jumping out at Paul here.
One on the shot clock. Paul able to play on. Paul, foul by Jackson. Shot's good and one. Chris Paul got hammered and continued to play.
Here's Paul on the mismatch with Plumlee. Fires it up anyway. And he hits at the buzzer to end the first. What a clutch shot for 3. And he was fouled. Unbelievable. It's on Miles Plumlee.
But watch and see if Thompson comes to help. Down to 4. 3 ball. Bingo! What a series he's had from deep.
One side for Russell Westbrook. Now Butler switches off to Paul. Pulls it back for 3. Yes! Shot clock reset. Oh, great move. Paul, look at. What I like about Paul is that he waits a lot of times for the offense to.
Turnovers, 17 points scored off those giveaways. Paul quickly stops, hits the J, and a foul. It'll be against Trey Burkus second, and all of a sudden, late here in the
4 to shoot. Paul from way downtown. Bang! Still time for Durant.
Line tied up 2 on the shot clock. Here's a long distance Chris Paul 3. You got to be kidding me.
There was no matchup.
Paul with the strip. Adams in pursuit. Paul.
A different player. He was very concerned that he was being moved. He was struggling before.
This is a team that might be right around the 500 mark, if not for that loss of Lawson. 1-game suspension.
You know what? A lot of those are the double technical variety because guys come to him as Paul. Virginia Cavaliers getting a #1 seed.
Paul putting on the move, shoots over Moscow.
No foul to give. And it is Chris Paul stepping back to the line. Hit it.
New, we're gunning for you.
Back in the day, Jake O'Donnell. Mavs have seen a 10-point lead. Get whittled back out to Paul.
Paul blows past Adams. Now pulls up. Jump shot is good.
That will be there. Let's see if they go back to it again. This time he splits it and gets the score.
Paul, count it and one. A 4-point play opportunity for Paul.
And the dunk on the other end.
Paul pucks it in. In the Western Conference, Paul, foul line jumper, nails it.
Batum on him. Momentarily. With one fly by. 9-0 in the previous 9. That was the 3rd foul on Damian. Way through the final period. Paul rises and scores. Ball around the Griffin screen. Bumps off the defender.
Which led to Klay Thompson getting a wide open 3.
Looking to help. Paul, a 3-pointer. It's good. Middle of the lane. Paul for 3. Bang! 2 huge 3-pointers for Paul, who's got
Paul burst to speed, explode to the basket, lay it in.
Being said, the Clipper defense has just been terrific.
He's the only Warrior to score.
Chris Paul right down the block, protecting the rim once again. 5 blocks. Here comes Chris Paul. And what Griffin?
Watch Griffin in that three-point corner.
Wow. What a shot. That was over David Lee, and the shot by Paul.
Led by 8 earlier this quarter.
Oh, Thompson plays good defense.
Paul will let it fly, knock it down. They're at 70-69. Paul's right to answer. Bingo!
Starting to figure out how the defense is playing them, and that's what most great players do. They recognize the defense, and
at their largest deficit, 12. They can tie or take a lead here. 3.5 to go. Paul for the top. This ball 3 of 7. Green is on. Shot clock at 1. He's got a foul. Paul. There's a play. Swerving move by Paul. The game out of reach and continue to drive. Here's Paul with a 3.
Stop here for Golden State.
7 to play in the 4th. Paul will pierce. Paul.
That's right. I'm getting old. I have to explain your references this season. Paul, then on a switch, steps back at Ibaka, and hits them. Paul, with room on that hesitation dribble. Oh, hits again.
Threes, but at the other end, Chris makes up for it with his
advisor and a friend to his players and others in the Clipper. Danny Granger has checked in along with Jamal Crawford, and valuable player, and he'll be honored before the game here on Wednesday night. Paul again for 3. Yes! Thank you, Ernie. Paul puts a move on Fisher. And then on a switch, shoots the 3 and hits.
Allowed him to stay on the floor.
There's Paul with the corner for it.
Interesting, they're not fouling him. Maybe they're worried about foul trouble, and Paul gets free. And just not feeling confident or comfortable with his shot.
Paul with the runner.
Best sports speech since Lou Gehrig.
He came in for Doc Rivers, and he felt that there were some great people in the organization. Goes back door. Paul for 3. That's good. Paul 7 points, 6 assists so far. Elbow jumper. They had 10 lead changes in this one. And Scott Brooks wants to talk it over. Jordan's had his best game in this series so far. Paul to the basket again, a clear. With 3 to shoot. Paul fakes, pulls up, 2-pointer.
And make quicker decisions.
Paul looking for an opening, another fake. Oh,
right where they want him.
Right. Paul gets inside, lays it in. Back up top. Paul the fake. The runner is good.
Ryan Roberts looking for space. Man, it's off his foot. Look out. Blake Griffin.
He could have went and scored that. But he's not even looking. He's not even looking at the basket. He's looking for his next guy. He's trying to get 20
31 times a game on an average. Back to Barnes for the slam.
All of a sudden. Oh, the lob. And
it was great hustling. Knocked it away twice from Timberfeld. On it up.
Did you see the little fake by Paul? He gave a little look left like he was going to go to Blake Griffin. Just a little head fake.
Blake Griffin. I'll give you a 2 for 1.
2 for 1 for who?
There's the alley-oop. Chris Paul, aggressive drive, finds Matt Barnes. Out there, so is Vince Carter. A little different substitution pattern. A lob, and it's still caught.
Now I don't know.
There's a steal back by Paul.
Look out! Griffin slam dunk! Chris Paul never looked after he made the pass. He just kept looking at Doc and the defense.
That's why the Clippers wanted Doc Rivers. They thought that they could really motivate him. Oh, there it is. He leads the league in dunks, too.
Yeah, he's a different player.
Paul brings it up. Gives it up to DeAndre Jordan. Now Jones got to try to stop Chris Paul. Back over to Crawford.
He'll shoot it.
How about that pass from Chris Paul?
How about that high arcing shot from
lack of playing time do it to you. He does come off a good game. He had 16. at Minnesota.
He starts to miss. He starts to rock and roll backwards, sideways. That time, straight up and down.
And there's Blake.
It's their defense that has really turned this game around here in the second. Alley-oop to Jordan.
And over and play him at the 4 spot.
Lob it in. Jordan again on a perfect pass from Paul.
Ball with it. Griffin to the corner for 3. Bingo!
Since March 1st, averaging 20 points and 11 rebounds a game. Wide open, Griffin for a long two.
They have taken out the 2 top scorers in the game. Young and Hill are on the bench. Let's see if this group can score.
For treating the players' injuries, but they're also important as Reddick.
Ball hounded by Green. The lob down. DJ was begging for it too. He had Curry down the block. Not much room to move. Got the shot clock. Pick and roll and go.
Lee and Griffin. O'Neal try to defend, but he can't stop that. Chris Paul splits the defense, gets it outside. Oh, he hits it. Thompson's got Griffin. Griffin got it. Goes inside, muscling his way for 2 and a foul. Chris Paul. 5.5 to go in the third. Bryant left free to fire. Curry defends. Up for Jordan! No! He drops a sledgehammer! And he gives the Clippers the 1-point lead.
Third best record of the league, 57 wins, a franchise record. Griffin steal, another Oklahoma City turnover. Reddick able to. Westbrook got picked off. Nice play. Picked beautifully done as Paul set it up on the bounce for Davis. And the Clippers are hanging in there, Mark. Big part of the Clippers game, him getting the board and then actually starting the fast break himself.
Well, he's actually his first block of the series. Didn't have a block in the first 2 games. Lob pass to Barnes. Up for a rim. He's got 21 here in the first half. Griffin down the lane. Griffin. Ball being chased by Jackson. Glenn Davis gets inside.
Gundy, he absolutely spoiled Cookie on Mother's Day. Take a lesson from him.
Paul, nice feed inside. The amazing Paul, it's just 6 feet tall guarding him. Nice feed to Griffin, layup. 95-94. Crawford for 3. Bang! Paul finds Griffin. Griffin throws it.